Welcome to another spectacular energy-packed, energy-filled, Chi Energy Enhanced David Wong webinar. I got a lot of exciting, amazing, spectacular gifts, free stuff I'm going to be giving away. There's a special contest I'm going to announce. We're going to be giving away thousands of dollars worth of stuff. You're going to get a free frequency. By the way, you guys like this frequency you're listening to right now? We gave away this free frequency last week. It's called the Luck Boost frequency. If you've been using it, I want to know. I want to know what kind of special things happened to you while you were using the Luck Boost frequency. We've had some really wild, crazy reviews and feedback, and I want to know what yours is. Some really crazy stories that you wouldn't even believe. All right, so today's webinar is about DNA enhancement and about how to program your DNA. Just imagine what you can do if you can program your DNA and to change any part of yourself, even physically, psychologically, and even your destiny. Because they say that whatever you're programmed with, that is what you're going to get in your life. But experts or scientists are saying that your DNA, once you're born with it, there's nothing you can do. You can't change it. Is that true or not? What do you think? Do you think that you can actually change your DNA, reprogram yourself to become something else? Also, scientists say that 90% of your DNA is useless, is junk. And we only use 10% of the DNA is actually for any purpose. Who believes in that? Do you think that's true? That only 10% of our DNA has any purpose and all the 90% of that is junk? Now, I don't think anybody thinks that's true. Well, if you think that's true, let me show you some things that scientists have discovered, and you'll tell me what you think. Stay until the end of the webinar. We're going to give you away another free frequency. Now, if you didn't get the Luck Boost frequency last week, I'm going to give the link again this week. But this week, we have another one. It's called Clear Negative Energy, and I'm going to give you a link for that too. So if you use a Luck Boost frequency and you had some tremendous success with it, hope you did, then you're going to love this Clear Negative Energy frequency that I'm going to be giving away also at the end of the webinar. So make sure you stay until the end because that's when I'm going to give the link. As usual, here's our manifestor's manifesto. So we are true seekers. We raise the world's consciousness. We connect our mind, our body, and our spirit to improve ourselves daily and to align to our purpose. We fight against self-limiting beliefs, conventional rules of thought. We fight against fear, sickness, and disease. And we believe in frequency. We're all connected when we are all energy. Okay, so that's what we're all about. We're manifestors and we're truth seekers, and we want to raise the world's consciousness. We're building a community together here in order to improve ourselves, align to our purposes, and fight against the traditional, conventional rules of thought, because we want to fight against fear. We want to fight against sickness and disease, because we're all connected. We're all connected and we are all energy. If you don't know who I am, I'm David Wong, and I'm the founder of Chi Life Mastery, this community. I'm also a Qigong energy healing practitioner. I'm also the inventor of Qi Coil and Resonant wave technologies. And I'm also a film producer and composer. I'm also a martial artist. And before I continue, there's a quick disclaimer that anything that you hear or see on this webinar is not intended as a medical advice or any kind of treatment or a diagnosis or cure of any kind. So this is just my own opinion. Any products that you hear about here are not regulated by FDA, okay? So before we continue, consciousness changes DNA. Consciousness changes reality, and consciousness changes biology. Do you believe that your consciousness or your mind can change your body? Do you think that if you can physically change your biology, like the chemistry in your body, or healing? Do you think that with your mind you can promote healing with just something to do with your mind? Who believes here that with your mind you can change your DNA? That's kind of like, I don't know, right? Some skeptics may say, that's kind of far-fetched. How can you change your DNA with your mind, with your consciousness? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, okay? So don't believe me right now. I'm just going to share with you some studies. So you don't have to believe me. Now, third thing, who believes that they can use their mind to change reality? So did you know that we can program our DNA through frequency? You heard that right, through frequency. There's some many of the Western researchers, what they do with DNA is they take a strand of DNA, they'll cut a piece out, put it into another piece of DNA, and that's how they, so to speak, that's how they change DNA, right? So they cut a little piece of code from one DNA and then put it into another strand. So that's how they've been doing it in the West. But did you know that there's Russian researchers who were able to modulate cell metabolism through frequencies and even use it to repair genetic defects? Okay, who's heard of that? Isn't that crazy? Okay, so what they found was that they captured the information patterns particular to a strand of DNA. So they were able to find the geometric pattern and some kind of pattern in DNA, basically code, converted it into a frequency. And what they did was they actually transmitted that frequency into another piece of DNA and were able to reprogram those cells using just a frequency. Isn't that mind-blowing? Mind-blowing, right? So in essence, they successfully transformed a frog embryo into a salamander embryo by simply transmitting a DNA information pattern. Okay? So, whoa, what the heck is going on? You can change an embryo from one species to another species? Well, that's what they did with this experiment. Okay? They were able to change a frog embryo into a salamander embryo by just playing the code, by basically programming that embryo to be something else. Just think about that for a second, what that means for everything, for DNA, for everything, right? All kind of intelligent life or non-intelligent life, any kind of biological structure. What does that mean for the universe? And they were able to do that without any side effects, disharmonies, and without having to cut out any strands of DNA. So this is very unbelievable. No people would say, yeah, that's total BS. Like this, it's nothing that couldn't possibly happen, but they showed it happen. So what they did was basically by simply applying some kind of frequency, they were able to demolish the old way, which is to just cut out strands of DNA. So what is this frequency? Well, doesn't that go with the belief or the saying that frequencies are the secret code of the universe? And if you can figure out the code, you can do anything you want. You can create and manifest anything you want. Okay? So frequency is the language of our DNA and DNA in all life. That's what scientists are beginning to understand. Okay? Here's the next part. Did you know that you could become younger through DNA programming with frequencies? Because, hey, if you can change a salamander egg into a lizard egg or whatever egg and change the DNA, wouldn't you be able to change human DNA so that you can be younger, or you can be stronger, or you can be healthier? Here's another experiment done by a guy. His name is Peter Guy Manners. That's his name. And he used cymatics, which is a way to see visually sounds. Okay, and he used that to resonate with each organ in the body. By projecting the frequencies into that area of the body, he was able to heal and rebuild that organ. So just like the ancient Chinese or ancient Taoist healing meditation called the 6 or 5 healing sounds, we use a different sound with our voice, or chu, or he, or ha. I've shown you this like a few times. And those frequencies are meant to help you to heal those organs and to keep them healthy. But what this guy did was he actually created frequencies out of equipment and technology for those organs. So what does that show? It shows that what we've known for thousands of years in Taoist traditional Chinese medicine, now we're just rediscovering with technology that we have. Okay? And what did he do with this technology? Well, recently, German researchers, but this time, they took the DNA of a 17-year-old boy, recorded it as a frequency again. And then, unfortunately, the boy was passed away. But the scientists still had the DNA of this boy. Not the actual biological DNA, they had the recorded frequencies of the DNA. So later, they took those frequencies, those codes, and then they transmitted it to a man in his late 30s. Okay, so someone who was 17 years old, they got the code, and then they transmitted to someone who was 30 years old, 30-something years old, late 30s, so near 40 years old. What do you think happened? The man almost became like a young boy after being exposed to the younger person's DNA frequency. What if we can program ourselves like that? What if we can just find a template? Let's say we find the world's most fastest person, or the world's most healthiest person, or the world's most strongest person, or the world's most attractive or most positive or most powerful or vibrant person. And then somehow we captured their code. We captured their frequency. We captured their special aura or their vibration. And then we were able to play that to you. Imagine if you can just program yourself any way that you want, like that. Yes, his physical appearance definitely changed. Yes, so he looked like a younger person immediately, almost. Okay, so that's another experiment that's done by a German researcher. So they say that 90% of your DNA is junk. Do you believe that? That's what we started this webinar with, right? We said 90% of the DNA is junk. Scientists still have not figured out what this other 90% is for. Why would we be created, or God create us, with a bunch of junk DNA that serves no purpose? It doesn't make any sense. But you know what they say? They say that we only use 10% of our brain. So what happens to the other 90%? What's it doing? And what if you can activate more of that 90% of your brain? Maybe it's connected to that DNA junk that they couldn't figure out what it's for. Okay, so here's what happened. Russian biophysicist and molecular biologist Pyotr Garjajev and his colleagues have been carrying out cutting-edge research in the nature of DNA. They simply did not believe that DNA is 90% just junk. So what they did was they wrote a book and from their research, and they basically started to see that the phenomenon such as clairvoyance, intuition, spontaneousness, remote acts of healing, so remote healing from a distance, self-healing, affirmation techniques, unusual light auras around people. Usually like Reiki masters or spiritual masters have this aura. Like some people call it the halo, right? Like we see in the ancient paintings of Jesus and the saints, they have this halo around their head. Well, was it actually just a depiction or some kind of exaggeration, or did people actually see halos glowing around these people's heads that were saints? Well, apparently, people who are that are spiritually heightened do have these auras, and people can see those auras. What else? The mind's influence over. What else did they research? They researched the mind's influence over weather patterns and a whole lot more other things that people consider like psychic abilities or superhuman powers. And what they found was that the DNA caused disturbing patterns in a vacuum and produced magnetized wormholes, microscopic events, so-called the Einstein-Rosen bridges. So we're going into quantum physics now. Okay, so something like a little black hole inside a vacuum. They were microscopic, but they were there, that the mind was able to create that. I mean, the DNA was able to create that. And these little black holes are actually outside, or they communicate with information outside of time and space. So maybe it's through these little black holes that our DNA creates that connect with the 0-point field, connect to either, or connect to the higher consciousness, or connect to the universal energy, or chi, that allows us to create or to develop or do these amazing supernatural things, such as clairvoyance, intuition, healing, remote healing, energy healing, and stuff like that. Okay, and that's all based on DNA. So that's what they found, was that the other 90% of your DNA is probably, and most likely, and there's lots of evidence saying that that is what gives us supernatural powers. That's what can give you, or that's what you have already inside you that's waiting to be unlocked. It's inside you already. We all have this DNA. And it is the key to you being able to be anything that you want. To have superhuman. Well, I don't think superhuman because we're all human. We all have it. It's just a matter of coming back to what we were intended to be in the first place. Because I believe that we were all intended to be superhuman already. And eventually, one day, my hope is that we will all become superhuman, and then just superhuman would just be human. And we'll all be just super healthy, or just regular healthy, and vibrant, and happy, and abundant, just because we're naturally like that. And that's the way we were designed. We're designed to be abundant. We're designed to be healthy. We're designed to be powerful and to be able to manifest things and create things and to, with our minds and with our bodies and with our DNA. Think about that 90% of DNA that you haven't unlocked yet. What would you do if you were able to unlock that right now? How much money would you pay to be able to unlock that? I would pay a lot of money to be able to unlock even another 5% of my DNA. Right? I don't even need 90%. Just give me 5%, and I'll invest money in that, because then I'm changed for the rest of my life. Okay, so there's another thing. You guys want to learn more? So there's something called a phantom DNA effect. Another Russian researcher called Vladimir Poponin, he put DNA in a test tube, and then he shot a laser through this test tube. And then when the DNA was taken out, they found that the laser kept spinning around in the test tube as if it was in a crystal, even though the DNA was already gone. So they call this the phantom DNA effect, and then it happened nowhere else that they could find. This is the only place that it happened. Actually, the other place that happened was in space. They were able to create this energy, spiraling energy inside this test tube that was outside of time and space. So it created this spiraling laser energy, even though the DNA was removed. And it's almost the same kind of a thing that creates an electromagnetic field. Have you guys ever meditated? Some of you guys may have had this experience. Like you went into a really deep meditative experience, really deep spiritual experience, and all of a sudden, the electrical equipment broke down. Like your computer goes haywire, or your phone goes haywire, or the TV shuts off for no reason, or the lights switch on for no reason or switch off. So how can you explain it? Is it a ghost? Is it something like paranormal? Well, the explanation is that our DNA actually creates these pulses of electromagnetic fields, and it's like a pulse electromagnetic thing. It's a pulse electromagnetic field. It's basically like what you see in the Matrix, right? They had those spaceships, and the only weapon against the Sentinels was this. They call it the EMF bomb, right? So when they blew it, then all the machines shut down. it's basically an electromagnetic wave. All right, so we can create those electromagnetic waves, and when we can get into high levels of meditation, those waves actually interrupt electrical equipment. And last time, we had somebody on our webinar while we were doing the Qigong meditation, their printer just turned off for no reason, and she said that it never does that. Why is intention so powerful? We always talk about intention. I always talk about intention. Why is it so powerful? Why is it so powerful that we can change reality? We can heal ourselves, or we can heal other people, even through remote distances. And we can basically create and manifest things out of nothing. Why is this so powerful? Well, it's because that intention and frequency is a universal language. And if you can crack that code, if you can crack that frequency, crack that language, and understand how to use that language, that's already built into your DNA. It's already built into your body. You have the hardware for it. Okay? You just need to figure out how to activate it. You just need to figure out how to cultivate it and how to direct it and focus it. And when you can figure that out using intention, then nothing is impossible for you. So a lot of times we're just limited by how big we can think. It's like the frog in the well, right? The frog is stuck in the bottom of the well. He looks up every night and he sees the moon go by. In the daytime, he sees the sun go by. And then when the bird came down into the well, they asked him, what do you think about this earth and about life? And he said, oh, it's not that interesting. I'm just here in the bottom of the well. I just see the sun and the moon go by once every day, and that's about it. But then the frog has never left the well, where the bird has been flying and can see everything outside. So do you want to be the frog, or do you want to be like the bird? Because we have this potential to achieve so much, but then we are only limited by our minds. What if you can open your mind to realize what you are able to do? So I want you to think about that. I need you to meditate on that so that you can meditate on something that's bigger than yourself. So why am I talking about this? It's because last time we shared about our new higher quantum frequencies. These are hyperdimensional frequencies that are in 4 dimensions. And what they actually are complex information fields of intention. And last week, we talked about technically how they're built and how they're created. It's a little bit, takes some time to explain. So if you want to get that information, just go watch the replay from last week. But basically, we basically figured out the frequencies for our emotions. And we figure out the frequencies for our intentions and frequencies for our state of being. What do I mean? Well, before I go into that, let me just read you some crazy stories that we've got from our closed group. We have a closed group of people that have been using these frequencies. They get them before everybody else, and then before we release them. So here's a review from someone, and then attract a mate. So he's been able to attract a mate. And by the way, this works for women too. So if you're a woman, you want to attract somebody into your life, you can do that. If you're a man, this is what he did. So here's what he said. Because the girls have been buzzing around me, it's like I'm suddenly on their radar now. 5 women of all types and ages in the past 2 days have been acting a lot different than normal. And one gal, wow, I thought she was going to jump on me or something. So, and this is from a guy he's probably had 5 women notice him in the last 2 years. So I feel like Cupid has shot me with a crossbow. And yesterday I attracted a mate again, and then went into a cafe in the city. I know all the girls working in that cafe. I'm always friendly to them, and we like each other. I go to this place for 3 years now. But yesterday was different. All the girls looked and smiled at me more than they usually do. Even one older man did not want to leave the table. He did not stop talking to me. Very strange. I had to leave because I could not listen to him anymore, and I have a feeling that that attract mate may enhance the oxytocin release. I'm the type that notices patterns, and patterns have definitely changed. It's like what we've discussed about the birds. The ladies are definitely more interested in getting closer. I also notice that when they are closer, I start acting in ways I don't normally do. So it is changing my behavior too. Okay, so here's a guy who's using one of our attraction frequencies, and he's telling us that he noticeably noticed that women of all types were attracted to him. Somehow he got more attention, and they found him more interesting. Even men found him more interesting. He just became more attractive in general. It even changed the way he acted with these people. So isn't that weird? Well, what do you think? Who here wants to attract somebody into their life? It could be a soulmate. It could be someone to date, somebody to marry, somebody to benefit you somehow in your life. Maybe it's a mentor, someone who can guide you, and maybe it's a spiritual mentor. Maybe it's a business or financial mentor. Maybe it's a coach, a teacher, someone that's going to make a positive difference in your life. So what if I gave you that code, the frequency that allowed you to increase your attraction to the point that you actually have to leave the scene because your attraction is so powerful? It's attracting all sorts of different people. Okay, here's another one from someone who is looks like is a currency trader. So he said, okay, I was in the market for British pound versus Japanese yen, so GBP, PPY, if you know what that means. And it was going against me for about 15 minutes into playing this frequency. Then after that, the prices started going my way. So he started to make money. And then it kept going and going, and I kept myself from exiting. which means selling the position. So for some reason, I was able to follow the tick by tick, and I knew when to tick up and when to tick down, and at the price level I can bail, which I did for incredible profit, marvelous. So if you do any kind of like day trading, I guess this is what this person is doing. He was able to predict when it was going to tick up and down. He was able to predict when to sell and when to buy. And he also said, I started to notice what seemed like spontaneous rapid changes to my physical experiences and my environment and others shortly after listening to the frequencies. Some examples. I start finding parking spots in places during times that I would never come across for months and months at a time. This is happening quite a bit. I'm running into people I haven't seen for a long time, and I'd rather have people approach me in a friendly manner. The place I live in, well, the locals are not average, terribly pleasant people, and I'm not the only one to think this. I'm finding money on the ground, having bad luck take twists and turns and turn up some good somehow. And then the first time I played the frequency and I walked around, I started bumping into half a dozen people I know in a single afternoon. Maybe this is just a coincidence, but I thought this can be remarkable. Okay, so that's this person's experience. Okay, so according to him, he was able to have a lot more success during his day trading, buying and selling currencies, and he says that he can find parking spots that normally would not exist. Open spots of parking. People were bumping into people he knew from all over the place. So that's another person's experience. Okay, like when people send me these frequencies, I was like, really? I'm like, what? And then we get these all the time. That's the thing. It's like, I can't believe it. Either this guy's just crazy, either this is like a total scam and he's just like BSing and making this stuff up, or this actually happening because it's just so bizarre. Okay, so that's the thing about our frequency. It's just like out of this world. Okay, here's another one. So after a day of listening to it, I started to feel a tingle. I thought maybe it's the vibration from the construction machinery near where I worked. And it was indeed that. The strange part is the vibration followed me home when I was listening to the frequency on the way back, and the tingling sensation came back. So when I play this, I feel lucky emotionally, and I have noticed that reasonable exposure seems to set my frame into the mind of expecting good things to happen. A rare group I know, they gave me $30,100 worth of very rare medical research related documents. Okay, so apparently a group of scientists gave him a bunch of free stuff, and then I think I have some good luck to report with the good luck frequency. I won 8 dinners for 2 in Arizona, and some really nice restaurants where I pick up out of 6,500 entries. That's pretty good odds. So, okay, so basically, if this person felt tingling sensations, he felt more lucky. He felt expectation of good things happen to him. So he had a positive mental attitude from the frequency, and for some reason, somebody gave him $30,000 worth of free stuff, and he was able to win a dinner out of 6,500 entries. Free dinners, 8 free dinners at this restaurant. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, let's read the next one. So here's another review. I'm struck with the effects that sound has on physical structure. That is, especially in the subtle tissues like neurons and synapses. Okay, so this is like somebody who's scientific. And then he says that I don't hesitate in expressing myself just the way it comes out. No coloring, no bravado, no bullshit. The endorphins level in my body went way up. I have noticed in initial listening to this frequency is that it appears to synchronize the 2 hemispheres of the brain, and I thought it became markedly coherent. Perhaps feeling the increased endorphin flow could be the actual increase of neurotransmitter presence, particularly serotonin. So it created serotonin in the brain. And as I ended, I was left with this feeling of balance and well-being. I definitely want to work with this frequency more. It seems to be the right one for me. Okay, so that's what they did. What else? I have had my family in, have not used the frequencies for a week, and their sensations were extremely energy from my hands. And I'm a master of energy healing. And then I felt heat in my hands more than I had ever experienced before. There was a bubbling feeling inside my chest, and there was an intense tingling in my chest and torso, a sensual, sexual feeling. My arms and legs were extremely warm. I'm usually cold and my blood was bubbling, and I had an effervescent feeling in my mouth. My feet tingled as the Nova is laying on the listening. I closed my eyes and I was enjoying a full-color animated video like a production without sound. This is the first time I have seen anything other than magenta colored flow from listening to the frequency. Here's another one. I've listened to the track several times now on very interesting results. Wow, in less than 5 minutes, I got into the program. I immediately feel clearer and able to focus. It's like entering into a zone. A flow state level I'm working faster, making less mistakes, humming along, getting things done, and it feels great. And it's happened each time I listen to it. One time I had a big sore lower back. I woke up with it, and not the kind that manifests a long day. It disappeared after listening to the frequencies. I've taken several tests to show which couple kinds of ADD I have. At least I experienced similar symptoms. These frequencies have really helped me to do things. That's a great blessing. Okay. So this person had ADD, and he was able to focus and get things done and then make less mistakes. So it somehow optimized his brain patterns. So, I mean, you guys are listening to this frequency now, and I suspect that you guys starting to move your body, you can dance, feeling more upbeat, you're feeling more positive, right? So that's one good sign of that is working for you. Now I'm going to introduce you to these amazing frequencies, what they are. New higher quantum frequencies, okay? And what you're going to have the opportunity to get access to today is something, okay, only a few people will be able to get this, okay? It's called the Inner Circle Awakening Bundle, and it includes 5 frequencies. Okay, so one is called Spiritual Attunement. So it helps you to raise your spiritual resonance, makes you spiritually higher and a higher level of consciousness. We also have Neural Optimizer, and this is something that helps your brain perform better. Powerful internal evolution. So anything that you want to achieve, you want to change anything about yourself, that's the frequency for this. Magic Mushroom. I don't know if you tried Magic Mushroom. So if you want to kind of experience something different, like an altered state of consciousness, then you can try that. What is the Inner Circle? So Inner Circle will have access to these 4D frequencies. Some of them will be released later, but right now you can get these ones. And you can also get the Attraction Manifestation Bundle, which is also available. And only Inner Circle members can do this. So lots of people are asking about how to attract abundance, right? So we actually have a frequency for attracting abundance. We have one for Attraction Magnetizer, so it actually boosts it. We have the Luck Boost one that we heard today. We have a Money Attractor. We have Super Successful Behavior, Health, Wealth, and Wisdom, Joy and Accomplishment, Manifest Dreams with Focused Effort. So all these are like mental states. All these are intentions, and all these are like frequency and states of intention that you can program yourself with. Just like how I showed you in the beginning, how they were program DNA to do certain things. There's also Clearing and Harmony. These are available. You can wash negativity, remove blockages, calm, relaxed, confident, deep positive change, get grounded, balance and clarity, harmony between power and action, harmony between relationships. Okay, and there's a lot more. No, these are not included in the Master Frequency Bundle. So these are a step higher than that. Okay, so Master Frequency is, let's say, level 2, and then we have Quantum, which is level 3. This is level 4. This is a couple of steps higher than that. But we have Willpower Recovery, Focused Energy Optimizer, Surging Inner Strength, Inner Freedom and Spontaneity, Stagnation Removal, Staying Focused, Get It Done. So all these things are really good for action. There's also Timing and Intuition, Deep Knowledge in Human Nature, Deep Knowledge of of Laws of Life, Insight, Discernment of Others, Deep Reflection, Get Solutions, Build Character, and Follow Through. So all those are available to only Inner Circle members, okay? So you're probably wondering, okay, what do you need to be in this Inner Circle? Well, okay, the reason we created Inner Circle is because these frequencies are very powerful, as you have heard, and we don't want just anybody to use them, because we want to make sure that you use them responsibly, and that's why we established Inner Circle. But the good news is this Inner Circle is absolutely awesome, because In this inner circle, you're going to get the world's most powerful meditation frequencies. These are literally the most powerful meditation frequencies you can find anywhere. There's stuff out there. I've seen everything like binaural beats and solfeggio. I mean, they're okay, but you only get a nominal effect for those. Some of them are good, but then if you compare them to these 4D frequencies, it's just nothing compared to them. Okay, and binaural beats are good. I mean, but they're only just one frequency on one ear and one frequency ear. So you got two frequencies, right? Whereas we have hundreds of frequencies in each of these frequencies. That's the point, right? There's hundreds of them in each one. Okay, so you also get cutting access to prototypes and technologies. So whenever we come up with the new frequencies and new technologies, you're gonna get access to them first, and you're gonna get to try them first before everybody else. You get closed door inner circle meetings with me and with other members. You get advanced training and coaching directly from me. Okay, so if you need coaching to help you to achieve more in your life, let's say you want to achieve financial goals, you want to achieve your health goals, or you want to achieve your spiritual goals, or health, or you want to achieve anything or attract something in your life. I personally have been through a lot, and I've personally been through being poor, being sick, being depressed, and going through a lot of crazy crap. But I was able to go through that and create a life that is very awesome. And I'm very happy. I'm very focused and doing what I love and helping people. And I am, doing what my heart's desire is, and really aligned to my purpose in life. And I really believe this is exactly what I was designed to do, because I studied music, most of my life since I was a little kid. I also involved in engineering and things like that. So I understand music, and I was a Christian. I grew up as a Christian. I used to run a Christian club in school, and we had hundreds of members. So I've always been a leader. I've always wanted to help people become spiritually higher, or to connect to God more. I've always understood the power of music. And when I discovered, and I'm also a martial artist, right? I've always been training martial arts, cultivating chi and things like that. So now I found a way to combine all those things in my life, which is, very, very powerful. Combining chi energy that I learned from martial arts, combining music that I learned from piano, guitar, and singing and all that. Combining what I learned spiritually from going to church when I was younger, and through meditation. And now I'm able to combine all those things in order to help people, help people like you to help you transform 1% a day. And then using a little bit of engineering know-how in order to create technologies like this. So yeah, it's a very unique combination of skills that I don't think many people have. I don't know anybody that has these skills. And so I'm very, very honored to be in this position where I can do this. So I was able to go through the journey. Why am I saying this? Because I want to help you find your calling, and want to help you find your purpose, so that you can really feel alive and do what you really love to do. Because if you love what you work, then every day is just fun. Every day is just play for you, which is kind of like what it is for me. What else? So unique opportunities to work with me and my network. You get peer support and guidance. You get complimentary attendance to special events. You get exclusive gold membership card, which is really cool. And only members get this membership card. I'll show you in a second. You get increased affiliate commissions. So you get a commission boost, which if you're interested, we can talk more about that after this webinar. We have an affiliate training. You get special member-only deals, and you get a lot more. So abundance awaits. Who wants abundance? It's waiting for you. And in this inner circle, if you work with me directly, you're working with me directly, okay? You're working with someone who's been through probably what you're going through now in some way or another. I've been able to find ways of moving beyond that and to achieve a lot of success in different parts of my life. I'm not trying to brag. I just want to inspire you, because I've been through, financial difficulty, emotional difficulty, and physical difficulty. And I was completely lost. I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with my life. I was totally depressed. But I was able to recover from that, and I'll be able to change my life for the good and also help other people do it. So If you join the inner circle, you get access to me. That's the important part, right? And you get access to a special group of people, truth seekers who really want to uncover the truth about us, about the universe, about God, if you believe in higher power, or about, you know, the spiritual world. And that's what we're about. And that's why I want to have joined this group. Okay, I don't want just anybody make some money and that's it, right? That's not the point. Okay, the point is we want to transform in a very deep level. Hope that you're inspired, motivated, and just totally excited because of the possibilities that I showed you today, and about the technology. The technology is amazing, the frequencies. Hope you enjoy the free stuff I gave away. Make sure that you try it out, and to help me out, you know, just write a review or make a nice comment on one of my social accounts, or just share it with your friends. So that would really help me out. So until next time, use the chi and prosper.